Hey guys. Okay, I pulled up. Well, first let's start with these, I guess. We got it up to 1740 on 11/7, so, and it's still pretty much the same appearance and everything on those. So they're still running a little day plus behind. So that's 4,000 electrovolts, 100,000 electrovolts. At 100,000 electrovolts, that starts to form ionized radiation. Ionized radiation is when electrons are stripped from atoms and they become like free radicals. If you've ever heard of free radicals, sort of like cancer thing or whatever, free radicals in your body, might apply to that as well. But anyway, and then when they get, then that's gamma rays. Actually, that's actually gamma radiation at 100,000 electron volts. When the atoms become ionized, when electrons get stripped, that becomes gamma radiation. And the higher the electron volts, the more gamma radiation, and the shorter the wavelengths, then the more penetrating and more powerful they are. Now, as far as them lasting and penetrating the atmosphere, haven't done any more research on that, but I recall when I looked at that the atmosphere is a pretty good buffer for gamma radiation. So I pulled up these Folk radiation electron belts, the L shell time. And basically the L shell is a representation of the magnetic shells around the planet. Take the magnetic field, say this is the planet, magnetic field coming out from here and connecting back here, pole to pole. Well, they have shells. And they have them labeled. And so basically an L shell's 1 Earth radii, which corresponds to approximately 4,000 miles. Here's the Earth radii indicated here as well. CRE means Earth radii. So each one of these is equivalent to approximately 4,000 miles, 3,959 to be exact. And the magnetopause usually sits about 10 Earth radii in front of the planet. That's where the magnetosphere starts to repel all the incoming solar wind and so forth. So I look at that as like the bow of a boat. They call it a boat, the bow shock. So everything that piles up in front of the magnetosphere, all this energy, is the bow shock. It's like water piling up in front of the bow of a boat. So getting back to this L shells. So if you look at this, now we got all these whited out areas. So this is usually occurring between L shell 3 and L shell 5 for the most part. And this is the latest run. See, it goes to 1740. And so I was looking at this, 10,000 to 100,000 electron volts. And this is before we started getting the white out. Well, it wasn't whiting out there. These things are all synced. But it was starting to white out at between 100,000 and 400,000 electron volts in there. So these whited out areas, I think they're just super high energy or low energy that these particular ones aren't calibrated to read. For instance, this one's 100,000 to 400,000 electron volts, 400,000 to 1,900,000 electron volts, and this one takes everything into consideration. 10,000 to 4,000 electron volts, or 4 million, right? Or actually, that's 4 million electron volts. And that's 1,900,000 to 4 million. So as you can see, we're not getting any readings on this high electron volt count down here below 4 Earth radii, the L4 level. nor are we getting any above 6 or 7, so I don't know. But here's what I'm trying to figure out. So basically, the concern is how much is getting into the Earth through and how close is it to the Earth, this gamma radiation, ionized radiation. So between 10 and 100 kV, we pretty much have constant. Comes down below the 1. See these calibrations? See how it dips below? So it's within 4,000 miles of the planet. This one's dipped lower even. This is at the 100 to 400 keV. So even at 400 to 1900 keV, we're still getting some. So that's 400,000 electron volts. Probably as much as 400,000 electron volts, probably below 4,000 miles. Now, once it gets up to 1900, you can see it starts bleeding out. So somewhere between 400 and 1900, that's where we lose it. This stuff either goes way over the either reading, because on here, 1900, 4000, we lose it. It's all whited out. So I'm suggesting that probably somewhere around 400,000, could be as many as 400,000 electron volts are dipping below the L1 position at times and coming within less than 4,000 miles of the planet. That's the best I can determine. These whited out areas, I just got to figure they're just so high. Well, I don't know. Can't be so high. Either they're so high energy that these things are not calibrated to read them, but why would that be dipping? Energy be showing up here and not down here? But it would apply to up here. So I don't know. Perhaps the elevation above the planet has nothing to do with how strong these electron volt potentials can invade the magnetosphere. I guess it's probably all dependent upon magnetic connections and polarity and so forth. So I'm thinking that this whited out areas, best of my reckoning, probably super high and not being able to be read. Just like this 4 MeV one, 4,000 electron volts, 4 million electron volts rather. That's this one's never been this color before. But what I really wanted to show you is we got a lot of missing time here. Let me pull these things out of the way so they're not a distraction. Got a lot of missing time here. Yesterday at 11:07, 23:18 UTC, all of a sudden bounced to 11:08, 17:43 UTC. So that's like 18 hours missing time. See, 23:18, so that's like 11:18 p.m. UTC on the 7th. The next readings, it's 5:43 on the 8th. So there's a lot of missing time there. Who knows what happened? Whatever it is, it's 18 hours. Couldn't have been good. The rest of it's not missing. I pulled this through. Solar wind speeds, not crazy or anything. Here it is again. Here it is here. See how it's building? Well, that's 11:08 after it flipped. So you could see it 11:07, 23:18. Well, just watch a bunch of pressure building behind the planet. Then all of a sudden they eliminated 18 hours on us. take a look at this real quick. No missing time up until 23 on this. It's coming up. Okay, that's when it's getting ready to flip. As soon as having a big discharge. The discharge, see all the arrows, but we got some arrows coming this way back toward the planet, indicating there's solar wind pressure from Nemesis. Which you can see here. So, okay, I got like 4 minutes left. Got a couple other things to show you. So there it is there, that's where it flipped. So we got some serious instability going on there. You can see that. The interplanetary magnetic blue field lines getting all cut up. Look at how this one squiggles out in front a whole bunch. I mean, that's crazy. Some serious magnetic forces in play out there to do that to these magnetic field lines. So we caught that planet on SDO. You probably watched that video. I still think it's probably the one that passed ACE. I saw one guy, Nemesis Majority, made a video saying that was the moon, but there's no freaking way that was the moon. I've seen that moon, which probably was the moon, a couple times cross the SDO path, and wasn't that big, and they certainly weren't expecting it. If you do the research, it only happens maybe twice a year at the most, and it just happened like a month or so ago. That's when we got the two objects passing in front of the SDO between the sun and the earth, one going up and one going down, crisscross almost. So these are field lines that are coming from that planet that I believe we caught on SDO. Here's the Ramby slider for the Himawari. Still got the reflection down here coming off of whatever it was that passed below these geosynchronous weather satellites at 22,236 miles. You can see the light there. Best to click full screen to see this one. I don't know where this is coming from. It's not my screen. It's coming from this website, this glared out, lined out feature. You can see it's still around the same time, around 11 p.m. Australia time. You can see the stepped out pixelation. So we'll step that through real quick. See the light white reflection coming off whatever that object is. It's lighting up everything down here too. And I showed you that one video, I think it was on Saturday, of the Antarctica Davis webcam. If anyone wants to check it, sunsets at 10:45 p.m. and basically they stayed lit all night down there. So that's that. Here's MLSO. It's looking pretty crazy. They left us a lot of images. Let that play for a minute. Notice this one sitting up here. Could that be our planet? Not sure. It's not moving much, but this thing's only got a couple hour run through, and depending on the perspective and everything. Of course, the SDO is much closer, being that it's 22,000 miles, 236 miles out in that geosynchronous stationary orbit, figure 8 orbit. The planet would have appeared to move more the closer you get to it. This shots are coming from the Mauna Loa Solar Observatory in Hawaii. So I'm running out of time again as usual. Here's the latest Discover one day. You can see nothing crazy going on. Solar wind, well, we got some glitchy stuff there. You can see the magnetic field is all scrambled up. But other than that, pretty normal looking. So here's the missing time, and God bless, I'm running out of time. Peace, and I'm out.